Hello, my name is Andy Brennan. I'm a senior at Dos Pueblos High School, and the first thing you need to know about me is that I am a runner. In fact, I've always been a runner. Before I had ever raced, before I knew what cross country was, I have been a runner. Growing up, I did youth sports, but really, I just hid my running behind a ball. In baseball, occasionally I would hit or pitch the ball, but my main positions were being an outfielder and a pinch runner. In soccer, I played midfield, which if you don't know is the position where you basically run laps of the field and pass the ball to other people to actually score the ball. And my third sport was basketball. Now, I was horrible at basketball, but at the end of every play, I would sprint to the other side of the court and be the first one there. And that effort I put in was my greatest skill. I was always told to give 110% effort, and so that's what I did, every time. And not just in sports, but in every aspect of my life. In memorizing lines for theater, in my classwork, in my friendships, I always gave my best. Fast forward to high school, and I'm in cross country, putting those strengths to good use. To any onlooker, it would look like everything was amazing. I was on varsity, running fast times, and just look at that focus. But just below the surface are some things I think we're all familiar with. Pressure, stress, and at the time, my greatest enemy, performance anxiety. Everything in my life could be amazing, but if there was a race coming up, all of a sudden, there was this looming cloud over me that was numbing every positive aspect of my life. It was something I'd never felt before, this inexplicable feeling that something was wrong, that I was going to fail far before I even had the chance to try. My internal dialogue was, don't eat, you'll get nauseous. You should drop out now before your race starts. You are going to lose your spot on varsity because you are weak. Raise of hands, does that sound familiar to anyone? If you look around, you'll see that you are not alone. But it's really hard not to feel that way. These thoughts are so common among teens, but all they do is limit us. Once my races were over, I was happy again and I could smile. But getting to that starting line was nearly impossible. I'm quite an introspective person, and so I decided to break down my anxiety into two things that I could work on conquering. Two factors that, if I could just get over, would relieve me of all this stress I was feeling. And I invite you to join me in this, and think about your own stressors, to pinpoint for yourself what, if you could change, would make you feel better. For me, the first step was identifying the unknown. What or who is putting this weight on me? What is the mental barrier that is manifesting itself in this physical sensation, like spaciness and vomiting? And two, what tools do I have to deal with my anxiety? What can I do to counteract it and put my strong emotions towards something positive? The latter idea ended up becoming the key to my success, and it involves tools we all have access to right now. Art, creating, using that building energy and putting it towards something physical, using the time it took to make that art to relax and take a breath, free from the things that worry us. You may be thinking to yourself, art? Andy, big whoop. Was all that build-up really necessary to tell us to draw a little? And my honest answer is yes, but it's not that simple. Since using art as a therapeutic tool, I've been able to completely eliminate my pre-race anxiety, and I've never again thrown up before a race. But like any other skill, you have to practice it before you can see the benefits. It took me time to figure out what worked best for me. But using art is something you can start today. I want you to identify one thing in your life that is putting weight on you. It could be an upcoming event, a deadline like a college app, a hard class, or anything else that is giving you anxiety. Close your eyes. I want you to feel that strong emotion for 1 second, and then visualize it going away. You can join me back. Open your eyes. Take a breath. The reason I had you do this is because the first step to reclaiming a life of normalcy is to practice forgetting what is going on in your life, separating yourself from the stressful events. We are all guilty of ruminating on the most difficult parts of our life, so much so that it overshadows everything else. But this unhealthy process of ours only limits us. And it locks your brain into an extended period of fight or flight, where you are literally chemically on edge. Over and over, your brain is replaying your stress, searching for a solution or an answer that would make you feel better. But it only worsens how you feel. And so, we need to figure out ways to deal with this. To counteract it, you need to take time out of your day to do something else and completely separate yourself from the harmful event. Spend time doing something you both enjoy and where you get to make something. And that word make really is the key. You could do crocheting, doodling, sculpting, knitting, wood burning, journaling, or a million other things. But the baseline is doing something physical gives your brain that sense of completion and productiveness that it's searching for. The only rule I have for you is that you have to have fun, and you have to be able to relax. Art is not a chore and shouldn't feel like one. Sometimes I'll put a movie on in the background or listen to one of my favorite albums. And sometimes I won't realize that my phone's been dead for the past hour, and I've actually just been hallucinating my favorite songs over and over again in my head while crafting away. But that's the beauty of art. Finding something that you can get lost in is a life-altering tool, and I know it can help you the same way it helped me. In cross country, we have a saying that goes, the most important night for sleep is 2 nights before your race. Runners know that the night before a big event like a meet, it's almost impossible to relax the way we normally do, and even sleep. But since using art, I have been able to reclaim those nights and go back to the normalcy I had before I ever felt the pressure to perform. I truly owe everything to art for keeping me grounded and giving me an escape. I hope if you take one thing away from today, it is that anxiety is temporary. And if you can't necessarily change your life, but you can change how you experience it. You can escape, you can relax, and with art, you can take control of your life again. Thank you. Please welcome up our next speaker, Joy Shia.